Welcome back to the Papa Me channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about my trip to Japan.
Konnichiwa. Sumimasen. Mushi mushi.
One Coke highball, please.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Okay. But really, we're also wanting to talk about how we were cursed in Japan. Yes, my friends, I full-heartedly believe that my trip to Japan, we were cursed. The entire group. And we'll get into that, but let me just, I'm just going to talk about my Japan trip because I do think that something supernatural happened to some degree. No joke, not even clickbait. Hashtag true story. It's a curse. I was fucking cursed, okay? Which, let me just say, intro to Japan, because people are going to wonder, Hunter, what do you think of Japan? I've gotten that a little bit on social media. The pros. Beautiful. Beautiful city. Clean, right? Infrastructure. Amazing. People. Friendly. Well, we'll see. I would say the food was good, but I'm also going to count the food as a negative. The food, everywhere I went, the food is good. I feel like in America, you can go into a place and you just know you're going to get sick. Like I've been to many of those places, indulged in many of those places, and I paid the price. In Japan, it was like the pro and negative, I guess I'll just get out of the way, is that like it's all kind of the same. It's like they have a very tight dish of things that they do, and some places just specialize in little things, which you could say the same thing about America with like burgers and all the other bullshit, but you at least have some different varieties. What was kind of crazy is like when I was in Japan, I was like, man, I would kill for an enchilada. You know what I mean? I'd kill for an enchilada. And I went to McDonald's just because I was like, I gotta switch this shit up, dude. McDonald's in Japan. If that's the whole grain good shit, give me the processed goop. Give me the sludge and the slime, dude. Bring that back to me. The fries were good, at least. Every building had a good sign, which doesn't sound like an extreme. You'd be like, well, why the f does that matter? I guess growing up in America, which it's probably the same, I was gonna say in the Midwest, I mean, it's just text. There's nothing fun or enthralling about it. This is like, you could be a sushi shop, but it's like a fun neon sign, or even just like little ways that they do graphic design. The graphic design is on point, my friend, right? And if you're into like otaku culture, and if you're into like nerdy games and stuff, it's really, I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, anime is everywhere, obviously, but even to degrees that I didn't understand, of like your local police station, it's going to be anime. It's going to be maybe a construction site. It's going to be anime. It's going to be like a beagle or something. Remember the beagle? It was cute. But I thought all that was cool. It was just something so diverse and different. Also, just the amount of people. There's like a pulse of life in every town you're in. Some towns can be crazy and chaotic, and then some towns can be very quiet and quaint and very relaxing. It's nice, but in some way it always feels like it's hope in some kind of weird way. A lot of Midwestern towns I've been to, it is the opposite. This is the end, this is death, this is my forever. You know, that's exactly how I feel, which I've gone and done different things and come back to appreciate it more, but it's dreams go to die. That is just you're born and do not dream, just get a job and die. That's what it feels like. And one more thing, I guess, too, is the I feel like everybody just takes like a lot of pride in their work, you know? Like even people working at like a McDonald's, it felt like every job felt like it had a purpose, which I guess here in America, it's like maybe just more entitled feeling. I would say my favorite thing by far is the rich religious culture of like shrines and temples was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The architecture, the appreciation, coming from also a place like America, the oldest thing we have is from the late 1700s, realistically, of like the American history and stuff like that. So going to things that are like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of years old, is fucking awesome. And to see people still going there, paying respects and being a part of that tradition and culture is just cool. The Osaka trip was our second stop. We started in Tokyo, Shinjuku,
the red light district.
The red light district, where Nigerians and women come up and solicit prostitution almost on the dot at 11 p.m. It's impossible. Walking through Shinjuku at 11 p.m. in the red light district area, or at least by Golden Guy, you're going, like, someone is going to offer you sex, and it's not even going to be subtle. It might say massage. Sometimes they were like massage, but then some people were like, you want to the Nigerian guys were like, do you want to
you want pussy?
You want pussy? You want titties in your face? You want pussy? Huh? And you're like, God, no.
My friend.
We started in Shinjuku, then we went to Osaka, and then we came back to Tokyo for our flight, but then we stayed in like Akihabara. The negatives, really, it was just in Shinjuku, it was like soliciting prostitution. Too many fucking rules was one for me. Like if you talk on a fucking train, people are gonna get pissed. You know what I mean? Like weird where it's like societal stuff, which whatever, you know, I mean, it's not like we went ahead and did those things. I feel like we were very respectful, but it was just like very restrictive. It's a very restrictive culture, I think. like, I just, no enchiladas. Like, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, can I get some enchiladas somewhere?
I got duped because it said taco. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah. We went to a place in Osaka called Taco King. It was awesome, but I did think it was tacos, and it was just octopus balls. They were good, and it was awesome. If you're in Osaka, you should go to Taco King. But yeah, no, that translates to like, I think it means like Octopus King or something. So... you know, oh, silly me. So, like I said, we started in Tokyo and then we moved to Osaka. Osaka is like, people say it's the food capital of Tokyo, which I will say the food was just way better in Osaka. If I ever went back to Japan, I probably wouldn't even go to Tokyo. I'd probably just stay in Osaka. I had a much better time there. There was still some shopping and stuff. And, you know, you're on vacation and you're just kind of walking around. It was the cast and crew of people we had with me were myself, my beautiful wife, Donkey Girl, Nick, Harry, and then our lovely Irish editor, Jono. It was our first time getting to meet him in person. He's tall. I don't know how a nation of people who survives on potatoes can be so big, but there you go. So it was us all going to Osaka, and we were kind of like, enjoyed our first couple days. We got to meet with my tattoo artist, Benny, who did my tattoo. We got to just experience some of like, just good eats. Like it was like a nice change of pace. It was still busy, but it's not Tokyo busy. And we decided to go out. Hey, let's just go check out some of the local shops, because there is some cool stuff, and I picked up a bunch of soft vinyl figurines in Osaka specifically, if you like soft vinyl figurines, which I do. But as the night was coming to a close, things closed pretty early too. Actually, another fucking negative. Nothing opens till like 11 a.m. I kept waking up at like 7 in the morning and then just like kind of, I guess I'll go for a walk. And walking through Shinjuku at 6 or 7 in the morning, you're going to see someone like, oh! Oh, like throwing up. We saw this one girl like black out on the ground and her friends were like, hee hee, and they picked her up like luggage and just like ran off. Well, I'm assuming to like a Subway or something. The train, Americans, not the sandwich place.
The guy who slipped and slammed his head that reverberated.
Well, that was a nice, yeah. It feels like looking back on it now, there was a lot of omens telling us to stay away. Like there was something negative coming towards our future. Watching a man fall down a flight of steps, like we were walking in Shinjuku, all the bar doors are just open, so it's like welcome in. But everything in Japan goes up. So the stairs aren't like you go at like a nice, I mean, you're like climbing a fucking ladder a lot of the time. So we were walking past this bar and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's like a Motorhead bar. It was cool, like Ace of Spades, or had like a Lemmy decal on it. I kept an eye out for it because we kept going to this place called Gods, which was like a metal bar, and I really liked it. I mean, it was fun. But yeah, I was watching the open door, and this guy, you just hear go 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 go, and the man falls out, bald ass head, right on the ground. I mean, hard. He gets up, like yelling, and he's like not composed. Like this, like you have a concussion, 100%. He was like struggling to even stand up straight, and he just kind of like stumbles and runs off. Whatever. And the doorman does not bat an eye. Which I'm guessing that staircase has claimed many lives. But that was one thing where I was like, maybe it was a sign. Maybe being solicited prostitution by Nigerians and women. Also, I want to say that I'm going to get to the curse, I swear to God. But I got really drunk with Nick, Jono, and my buddy Rob, the guy who directed The Sadness. We all went out to karaoke. We called it a night afterwards. It was like 2:30, 3 in the morning. Everyone split ways, you know, to go back to their hotels. I was walking back. It was like a 3-block walk, really close. I was walking home kind of drunk. And then the stairs that go down to the subway, there's like always like a fence around them, and from behind the fence this woman pops out. Sir, you love me? And I was like, oh no sounds bad now, but she was like, you want massage? And I was like, no, I don't. You love me. I don't. And keep walking, and then she just followed me. 3 blocks isn't a long time, but it felt like forever. Sir, and it like got horrifying. I mean, like sad, horrifying, where she was like, sir. No, I'm good. Sir. And I mean, all the way up to the front of my hotel. As I was walking in, I heard her, sir! Like that. I mean, it was insane. I wrestled some fucking demons that night. I was like, what if it wasn't even a prostitute? But then I was like, you can't start it off with you love me and then massage. I've had 6 Nigerian guys ask if I want to fuck, and then other people in like puffer jackets, girls in puffer jackets come up and be like, you suck cock? You fuck me? And you're like, no, I'm good. Massage? I'm like, no, dude, no. So anyways, there was a list of things where it just felt like Japan had something for me. The bad omens came to a close and we were back at the part in Osaka. We went to go shop. We're at a crosswalk of all of these like stores. I think it was called the store was called Animate. And we were at this crosswalk in between there, and there was like some other little like vinyl figure shops. Everywhere has like little anime statues and stuff. And we all reconvene. Hey, we're outside here so we can all meet up. And Allison's to my left, Harry is beside her, Jono, and then Nick is beside me. From behind Harry, there's a man hunched over and he has a Donkey Kong tropical freeze bag, like a tote bag. Like, you know, like one of those plastic tote bags. And it's thrown over his shoulder like this, and he's bent over and he's looking around. He has his face mask on and he's kind of looking around like this, whatever, which isn't out of the ordinary because the amount of people in Japan that walk like a creature from Dagon is normal. People are bent over, they're all fucked up. I'm guessing it's just like a lot of walking through your life, a lot of like physical labor and stuff. I don't know. I just know that it's like the older they are, they crumble up like paper. So when he was standing there, they didn't really pay too much attention to it. But this is where shit hits the fan.
Today's video is sponsored by Fume, the leaders in flavored air. January's almost over, and this is usually the time when people say they're gonna make changes, but inevitably lose steam. But not you, because you have Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device that helps you fill the void when you're ditching a bad habit. And the best part is, Fume is not vape. There's no vapor, which means you can use it anywhere. Their new retro sweets flavors, Spearmint Ice and Cinnamon Heart, are the perfect way to stay on track with your New Year's goals. Plus, there's no nicotine, no toxic flavors, and no batteries involved. Sorry, Duracell. Not here. And Fume is meant to fidget with. With satisfying snaps and clicks, Fume is there to calm you down when you're feeling anxious. Fume has already helped over 300,000 people build better habits. Try Fume today. And if you order the Journey Pack now using my code PAPAMeat, you'll get a free Fume Topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Go to tryfume.com/PapaMeat or scan the QR code on the screen right now. Thank you, Fume, for sponsoring the video, and back to the video.
He's peeking around with his face mask on, and then he looks over at us and his eyes kind of widen a bit and he kind of starts shuffling. You can kind of hear it in his like sandals. He's like wearing like some fucking slides. Shh. Shh. Everyone else is talking to each other, and I'm really the only guy closing in to where this guy's going to walk through our group and make some statement. There was some stuff where it was like either we were on the wrong side of the sidewalk. There were so many different like rules and stuff to where people will bump into you and they'll like be like fuck off. And you know, there's probably a big thing of people being like, why the fuck are there so many tourists here? I want to fucking put a bolt in their head. Hey, I'm right there with you, buddy. So at first, like I said, I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna walk right through our group. And I'm like, okay. And I take like a step back, a little Midwest hospitality. Go ahead. But he doesn't walk through our group. He goes right up behind Harry. And by the time that he gets really close to Harry, everyone notices it besides Harry because he's standing behind Harry. So everyone kind of stops talking and he goes up to Harry and he gets really close to Harry's face. I mean, like maybe 3 inches. I mean, it was really close. And his mask is on and his eyes get really wide. Wide, like he is like looking into the depths of his soul. He looks at Harry and he does, "I'm sorry." he goes, "I'm sorry." And he's looking at him and he keeps looking at him and they're both just looking at each other. And then he just finally and starts shuffling off, and it's slow, real slow. And of course we turn to each other and we're like, what in the fuck is that? We turn back. The guy's gone! He's gone! We looked over for 3 seconds, 4 seconds maybe. He's gone! There's some people. Oh, when we got lost in the crowd. No way. He was going so slow to where it's almost like we turned away and he'd have to have dead sprinted.
So I was gonna say, once he saw you guys look away.
Yeah. So this begins now the list of things that confirm that we were cursed. I don't know if there is something where a curse can be transmitted from like marking somebody with his eyes, like by just looking at this guy and we all looked at him, we were cursed. I don't know. It's a very superstitious culture. I'll say that. So who knows? I guess I'll say my end. That night, I immediately got very sick. So sick, in fact, that for the next 4 days in Japan, I was bedridden. I mean, I could not, I was fatigued. I got up, and I think right now there's a huge outbreak of like influenza or something in Japan or something like that, you know, record high. But it was just that night, I immediately was just kind of like, You know, when you kind of know you're getting sick in your throat and you're like, fuck. That next morning, I'm not even joking. It felt like, I mean, I couldn't eat. Even just like choking down water was rough. I would try to get up because I'm sitting in Japan in a hotel room and I'm wasting all this vacation time. Like I planned this. We worked so hard this year to fucking come out here and do this. And now I'm just like sitting in my room. But anytime I would get up and try to like go down to the lobby to get like a coffee or something. It was so lightheaded, I feel like I was going to black out. Seriously, that way for 4 days. So like everybody was kind of like, are you sure you can't come out? And it was fucking horrible. Like I just kind of sat there and I felt plagued. That's how I feel like I was cursed, all right? I really did not get better until we went back to Tokyo, Akihabara. So really, I was sick the rest of the time that I was there. Mind you, the next person I'll talk about is Allison, because she was in the same room as me, obviously. So that night, I start getting sick. She's like, well, it's probably nothing, just drink water. I was like, okay. So the next morning, we kind of go through, I wake up, I still feel miserable. I put on like American Dad on TV. I'm just gonna go on fucking Japanese YouTube and watch American Dad compilations, because everything else, all the streamers are like region blocked or whatever. Allison is taking a shower, and then she just fucking screams. This is like 7 in the morning. Screams. Blood-curdling scream. I'm like, like sick and frightened. She comes running out and she's like, why the f would you look in on me? Jump scare me like that. She thought I was like looking at her through the shower, trying to scare her. And I was like, dude, I'm looking at my fat ass, like laying on this bed. I'm like, I've been here watching American Dad. She says, and I quote, there was a man looking at me through the steamed glass, hands up on the glass, looking in on her. And she's like, it was crystal clear as day. But the only thing that she said was different was that she's like, I could have swore he had like black hair. I don't think it was the same, you know, she's seeing aberrations of the man who cursed us, but I do think like some spooky shit's going on. All right. And one thing that me and Allison kept doing was we would look at Google reviews of businesses in Japan. It's really funny because those motherfuckers get mad over like the smallest, most insignificant things. And they'll write like, Bibles. So then we look at the hotel that we're at. It's in downtown Osaka. Look at the review. And one of the first ones was really fun trip, 3-star review. Because a lot of things in Japan also, people are like, it's perfect. They'll leave 3 stars. I don't know. 3-star review. What a wonderful trip, or I had a great time. Something like that. This fucking review was like, I had a great time at this hotel. The ghost tried scaring me, but I thought they were funny. I would definitely come back. And we're reading this like, what? Because at this hotel, there is a fucking temple right next door. Like not even right next door. There is a tiny alleyway and there is a full-fledged fucking temple. The guy in his review basically goes like, oh, it was this guy with black hair, so-and-so, which everybody in Japan has black hair, but still, it was like one of these things he talked about the ghost from the temple. We went there the next morning and fucking read the placard of the guy who was at the temple, and she was like, this looks like him. They had like a picture of him. This looks like him, which I was just like, all right, dude, like... You know, come on, Allison. Let's try to reel it in a little bit. But still, a fucking paranormal haunting happened. It freaked her out for the rest of the trip, at least in Osaka, where it would be like, leave the door open for the bathroom. Because it was like, there's an entryway to the bathroom, you close that. There's another door to where you have a toilet, or another door to where you have your shower. So you would leave the door open to where like anybody in the room could like look in and see. It's just me. I see my wife naked sometimes, so it's not a big deal. But just one of those things where it's like leaving a night light on. I don't fucking know. That's Allison's. Whatever. Next, we go up to the culprit himself, Harry. He had insomnia every night he was in Osaka. Every night since he got cursed, he was tossing and turning. He was saying that he kept like hearing people tapping on the wall. Don't know what the fuck that's about. Very vague. Harry's a very vague man. So you'll just be like, well, was it scary? Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, what happened? There's just like tapping on the walls. So that's as much as I got out of that. All I know is every day it kind of looked like there was a little ounce of dread in him. One, it could have been from how insufferable me asking what the questions were in my sickly state, or whenever even we were coming back. But it just felt like it's one of those things, you sleep perfectly every night in Tokyo, but then now all of a sudden you're hearing shit, you can't sleep, insomnia, it feels like you can't get any rest. Come on, bro. Right? Am I wrong?
A little suspicious.
Then our tall, doughy Irish friend, Jono, everyone while I was sick went up to go see the snow monkeys in Japan. It's like we went in the winter, so it's like perfect time of year. You go up there's like hot springs and you see these snow monkeys. They have red faces. I'm sure here's some pictures or some videos of them up there having a fun time. I didn't get to go because I was sick. I had a good time. Jono goes up, everyone goes up there, and they go into a hot spring where you can like sit in a hot spring.
Naked?
And the monkeys are, well, yeah, naked. I think everybody knows it's naked. Did you guys see each other's dicks?
I was covering up.
You didn't just let it hang free?
Oh, I think when I grabbed my towel, I did. It was too cold. We got out and it was like, so I'm pretty sure people saw my dick.
All right. Well, and mind you, this is normal. People go in, you pay to go into these hot springs and sit around them. And like the monkeys they go around you. They really don't give a fuck. They're so acclimated to it that it's just like, they don't really even pay attention as long as you just don't look them in the eyes.
Yep. The guy specifically said, no looking eyes.
No looking eyes, right? Which, whatever, we've heard that before. Don't look fucking monkeys in the eyes. Sure. Jono gets in the hot spring, and from the sources of Jono, Nick, and Harry, all of the monkeys like surround the hot spring. They make a fucking circle around the hot spring, and they're all looking at Jono. Is it because it's the first Irishman they've ever seen? Is this the biggest man in the pool, therefore they feel intimidated? I'm not sure. All I know is usually they're frolicking around and kind of doing their own thing because they just don't give a shit. But now they're all huddled around this circle watching Jono. And Jono is a tired, scared Irish boy. So he's just kind of like looking at their feet, but he sees the amount of feet there in front of him, and he's like, this probably isn't normal. Which sometimes the monkeys as well will get in the hot spring and they'll kind of like hop out. This monkey like hops borderline in Jono's lap. Huge noise. And it uses his fucking leg to pole vault off of him and out of the hot spring, whatever. But he gashes his fucking leg up like bad. Bleeding. He's like, oh, he's like, oh my God, I can't believe what happened. Actually, I got the Jono accent. I should just do the Jono when he talks, he kind of sounds like this. So he's just kind of like doing this thing where he was like this. I can't believe that they fucking jumped off me, man. For real. It's pretty good, isn't it? I can't believe that they fucking jumped off me. It's crazy. It was the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen. It was horrifying. It was fucking horrifying how he did it. He jumped off my leg and it scratched me. I got out immediately. It was the craziest fucking thing I've ever seen in my fucking life, man, for real. It's so good. If Jono's editing this, you should have him say something.
The one upside to that story is I did get to see Nick's cock when we were running into the bath. And to be honest, I was more concerned with that than I was with the monkey shit that Hunter's talking. I don't really remember that, but I do remember seeing his dick, and I do remember seeing, I got to see his balls as well. And they're very big, yeah. His cock was very large.
You should show a picture of his leg, too.
Yeah, show a picture of his leg. I don't know if we can. Well, the blood or whatever. We'll have to show some picture of it, but it scared the shit out of everybody. They immediately got out and kind of ran away, and the monkeys were all in unison as they were running away. They did not chase them. They just started doing back and forth, chanting. It was fucking horrifying. They didn't even move. They didn't chant. They didn't do whatever. It almost felt like they were like, get the fuck out of here. You're cursed, right? But the most egregious, and dare I say, the most curse-ridden man was Nick of all, because Nick had the curse of not getting any pussy in Japan. All right? Mind you, Nick's a dirty bird, likes to get some pussy once in a while, dude. He's a man. Who doesn't? And we all know Nick loves Japanese women, finds the most beautiful people in the world, so he went there very eager to find a wife, potentially. Who knows? We went to clubs. We went to bars. Women everywhere. Women who, I know for a fact, Nick's a good-looking man. And especially in some of these clubs and stuff, a lot of donkey faces out there, dude. All right? He's walking around like, you probably peacock a little bit. You know, he's all nervous. No, I know. Every time a girl would look at him, they would kind of perch up though. In these clubs, just like, what the fuck's going on? It's almost as if he had this stink about him. He was emanating some kind of stink that maybe we had become accustomed to through this thing. Almost like when someone like shits their pants and on a car ride, and after a while you're just like, you become one with it. You kind of accept it as a scent. Nick couldn't break the ice with anybody. And you know what's crazy? Craziest of all is that even in Golden Guy or any of the places where people were soliciting prostitution, no one came up to him once. Which maybe they're coming up to me because I'm a big fat ugly man and they're just like, you surely need to pay for it, right? So maybe they're like, oh, we don't have to worry about him. But it's odd. Everyone else in our group, even Allison got solicited prostitution, okay? Not one person went up to Nick to ask him in a fucking weird way. Not that he would indulge in it. I think he fucking wanted someone to.
It hurt.
Did you want somebody to come up and...
I felt like I wasn't wanted.
It is, isn't it? Kind of feels like everybody else gets like, you go to like an ice cream store, right? Everybody else gets a sample and you're like the one kid left out. One Coca Ball, please.
Do I not look desperate enough?
I don't think so. Probably not as me. I was kind of like, I had the big fat man waddle. I was like walking through the city. Oh. But as soon as we left Japan and we were flying in the air, there was a sense of ease. Like there was a sense of like, which you could associate to a long trip and you're going home and you're looking forward to going home. But in a weird way, it was us breaking the curse, the spell. You know, if we ever return, will it be reactivated as we enter this like barrier? You know, I don't know. All I know is I would go back to Japan. Not as long. We were there way too long. We were there 17 days. Next time I went to Japan, give me a week. 1 day for travel, 5 days, and then another day for travel. Just too long. Way too long. It could have been anywhere in the world. No, it'd been like, this is way too long. What's fucked up is everybody I told before, I was like, yeah, we're going to go there for like almost 3 weeks. Everyone's like, cool. As soon as I came back, they're like, yeah, bro, it's way too long. Like 10 days max. That's what everyone kept saying. I'm like, well, it's fucking cool, man. Thanks, dude. And I just want to give a shout out to all the wonderful people, all the buddies I got to see in Japan. Benny on Instagram. He's the guy who did my tattoo. Science Patrols. My buddy Corey. He does a lot of awesome soft vinyl. He got to show me around Nakano Broadway and that kind of stuff. That was a lot of fun and hanging out with him. He also got to show me, I think it's called Yamachan, whatever. I think we went to Yamachan like 3 or 4 fucking times. It's like a little chicken wing place. It was awesome. If you're ever in Japan and you pass a Yamachan, go there. Got to meet Corey and his brother. They're awesome. Follow Science Patrols. He makes awesome soft vinyl toys. It's amazing. And of course, our beautiful boy, Jacob Takahashi, who gave me, for my birthday, he brought me a bottle of sake from his local shrine, and I thought that was awesome. Sake is disgusting. I won't drink it, but I will cherish this as a memory, and it will remain sealed forever. So that's cool. I actually do. I love this. I think it's sick, but sake is disgusting. So Jacob Takahashi, of course, helped voice. He's voice acted. If you've heard a Japanese voice in one of my cartoons, it's one of him. He does amazing dubs and stuff for other animes, so please follow him as well. He's a beautiful man. But just want to say thank you to all my Japanese friends out there. Thank you so much. And, you know, if you go to Japan, be respectful. It's a completely different culture. There's a lot of things that seem completely different to our own, right? But it's amazing. It's a great place. A lot of good people. A lot of fun people. Big drinking culture. If you're a drinker, gotta go fucking drink in Japan. It's fucking sick, man.
Coke
Seriously.
highball.
A Coke highball. That's another thing that pissed me off.
Oh, yeah.
Is being like, I'd be like, can I get a Captain and Coke? And they'd be like, Captain and Coke? And you're like, yeah, Captain Coke. Oh, a Morgan and Coke. And you're like, okay, dude. All right, dude. So we're getting there. So, and then Nick was like, you know, if I want a Jack and Coke, I should just say Daniel and Coke or whatever. But yeah, you can't say whiskey and Coke. What? And you're like, Coke highball. Oh. I don't know. All in all, it was a great trip. We did get cursed. It was kind of weird. We had some ups and downs, but that was my Japanese trip. Just wanted to tell you guys about it. Thought it was a lot of fun. So happy to be here making videos again. I think it's going to be a very exciting year. We got a lot of cool stuff planned. So until the meantime, everybody, I love you all so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.